Hello students, welcome back to my channel. Let us continue learning SQL. Today's is going to be the last session of this particular chapter, which is chapter 14, Structured Query Language. After this, we will be starting with a new chapter, that is chapter 15. All right. So in the previous session, we had discussed about different types of built-in functions in SQL. In that, we had seen two types. The first one is a row-related functions. Another one is a group functions. Group functions we have already discussed in the previous sessions. Today, we will see in detail each one of the row functions. So we had also seen that there are four types, which are numeric type, character to text functions, date functions, and conversion functions. These are the four types of row-related functions. So we will see each one of them one by one. All right. So the very first one is a numeric function. So in that we will see first absolute of x. So what it happens, absolute value of the x will be returned. Okay. And in the next slide, we will also see the example. So seal also we had discussed. Seal of x is nothing but it will give you a integer value or the seal value. For example, if it's 2.3, I will get the value as 3. So seal value we will get. Floor of x, when I say, it will return the floor value. For example, 2.3. The floor value of 2.3, you will get 2, the lesser number, wherein which the seal value of 2.3 will be 3. So that is the difference between seal and floor. Next is trunc of x and y. So here, as you can see, we are giving two values as an input. So it truncates the value of number x up to y decimal places. Okay, so if it is 2.394 and I'm saying truncate of, this is my x and comma 1, if I say it is going to return only 2.3, which means I'm going to retain only one decimal value because my y value is 1. That is how truncate works. And round of x comma y is also something similar, where you are going to round off the value of number x up to the number y decimal places. So here also the value of y, whatever we are receiving, those many places, decimal places, we are going to round off the value. Okay. Now quickly let us see examples of this. Okay. So here the first example is absolute of 1 will return the absolute value of 1. Absolute of -1 will be returned -1 itself. Seal value 2.83. Like I told you, 2.83 is closer to 3. So we will get 3. 2.49. The bigger value will be, of course, 3. So we will get 3. Here, if you see -1.6, we are getting -1. Now, how is it? That is because -1.6 is lesser than -1 because we are going towards negative. This is less. So always we will get a greater value. That is why we are getting -1 as a seal value. Let us see floor now. In floor, like I told you, 2.83, we should find the floor. That is the least value. So 2.83, then 2 will be returned. 2.49 as well, 2 will be returned, wherein which -1.6, -2 is returned. Reason being, 1.6 is greater than 2. So we need a lesser value for floor. That's the reason we are returning -2. Next is truncate. This also we discussed. So I have 3 decimal values, but my value of y is 1. That is why I'm returning it with 1 decimal value. Here I have 0 decimal value. That is why all the decimal values are neglected and I'm returning only the whole value. Here I'm saying -1. Okay. So -1 is nothing but I'm going to reduce this as well. Not just this. This is up till here it is 0. Okay. I'm reducing this as well. So the value of this is 120. I'm minusing, so 4 I am removing. Okay. Next is truncate. Once again, 2 decimal value. So returning only the 2 decimal values here. 1. So when I say 1, it is nothing but I'm returning the positive of this. Okay. So here when I say 5.7 with nothing, I'm going to round it off and I'm going to give the value. Trunc of 142 -1. So -1 when I say, I'm going to remove this value of ones. Okay, this is ones, this is tens, this is 100. Remove the value of ones, hence I'm returning 140. I'm rounding off to -1. Okay, I hope this is clear. Next is our character to text conversion. So let us see how it works. First is lower. So when I give a string value to lower, it is going to convert all the values into a lowercase. When I say upper, and if I give a string value, it is going to convert all the values into a uppercase. Initial cap, which means If at all I am saying hello world, this is my input, then H and W is going to be written in a capital letter. So H and rest all is going to be small letter, W rest all going to be in small letter. This is how this particular built-in function is going to return the value. L trim is nothing but whichever the left side, the first word on the left hand side is going to be trimmed or removed. R trim is nothing but the word which is on the right side is going to be trimmed. When I say trim itself, what happens is here I'm going to trim text from string value. I'm going to input two values here. So what is going to happen? All occurrences of the trim text from the left and right string value, trim text can also be only one character long. So we are going to trim all the occurrence of the trim text. Substring is nothing but I'm going to return a particular sub or a part of the string value, whichever I'm giving as an input. So returns n number of characters. So whatever the value n is, those many number of characters from the string value starting from position. So this is the start position. This is the n. So suppose this is 3, then I'll start from the third letter up till, for example, this is 10. From third letter up till 10 letters, I'm going to give you as a output. Length, of course, is going to give you the number of characters. LPAD and RPAD is nothing but LPAD. It is going to add padding, for example, star star onto the left side of the string value. Okay, so pad value is nothing but how many stars you want. If you write 1, you will get 1 star. If you write 5, you will get 5 stars. Okay, RPAD is nothing but on the right hand side of the word, we are going to pad it with the stars depending on the pad value. So these are the character to text function. Let us see the examples. Okay, so here lower of good morning, as you can see, everything is being written in lower letter or lowercase. Uppercase of good morning, everything is in capital letter. I knit cap, good morning. See, as you can see, everything was in capital letter, but only the initial words, letters of the words have been made it to capital letter. L trim, good morning, good. So here I'm saying that trim good from the left hand side. So only morning is written. I'm saying R trim, good morning, morning. So trim the morning and written only good. Trim O from good morning. So all the O's from good morning is going to be removed and we are going to return the rest of the words. Substring of good morning starting from 6 up 7 words. Okay, so 6 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm starting from M up 7 letters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So which means the entire morning is going to be returned as a output. Length of good morning is 12 characters. L pad good. Okay, 6 star. So what am I saying here? String value n pad. So I want 2 stars on the left hand side of good. Here similarly I'm saying RPAD good star. So I'm saying after good I need 2 stars. Okay, so this is how your character functions work. Next, let us see date functions. So add months, like we discussed in the previous session, it is going to add the number of months to a given particular date. Months between will return an integer value where it will calculate the number of months present between the x1 and x2. So these are the two dates which you would have given. Between those two dates, how many months are there will be returned. Round x date format. So this returns a rounded off of the nearest century. Okay, round off we are going to do here. For example, if you have given the date 27th October 2000, so it is going to round off to nearest. So it is going to make 1 Jan 01. So this is closer to the next year. So 1st Jan 01. I'm going to round off the date. Trunk is nothing but return the x lesser than or equal to the nearest century. Here also it is somewhat going to truncate or make it nearest to the closest date or a year or a century, just like this. Next day, x comma weekday returns the next day of the weekday on or after the date x occurs. So next day, whichever is the next day, that is going to be returned. Last day, it is used to determine the number of days remaining in a month from the date X specified. For example, whatever the date is given here, how many number of days are present until the last day of month will be returned. System date will return the system's current date and time. New time is nothing but if at all we are in a particular time zone, if you want to convert it into a different time zone, you can use it as a new time zone where zone 1 returns the date and time in zone 2. That is, whichever you want to convert it into will be written here, and whichever you are at currently will be written here. So this is the date. This is presently in this zone. You want to convert it into this. So you will use this particular format. All right, let us see the examples for the same. So add months, as you can see, add months 14th Feb 14, 9 months to be added. So 14 February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. After adding 9 months, we are going to get 14 November 14 months between. So between this and this date, there are how many months? So September, October, November, December. So there are 3 months. All right. Next day of 20th March 2014, Thursday is 21st March 2014. Last day of 1st June 2014, of course, it is 30th June 2014. New time, as you can see, this is the date, this is the present. IST is the time zone. You want to change it to EST, will be given in this format. All right, this is how we can use a date function in our SQL query. Next is conversion functions. So how are we going to use these conversion functions? So we have two characters, okay, X, this is the format, syntax, bracket, comma, Y, converts the numeric date values to a character string value. So this is the value you want to convert. This is the value you want it to be converted. So if at all you give, so this particular X will be converted into this particular format. So when we see an example, it will be clear, okay. To date, X, comma, date format. Here also, what are you trying to do is convert this particular date into a given format. For example, in certain places, we will be using year, month, date format. In certain places, we will be using date, month, year format. So whichever format you want to convert your data, you can easily use this particular built-in function. NVLXY, if X is null, okay, so this is null, you want to replace it with Y, X and Y must be of the same data set type. So if suppose this is null, then you can convert it into this value using NVL function. Now you might be wondering, why are we using all this? So when you have a huge database, and if you want to sit and convert every null value, it is going to be very difficult. So if you have a built-in function like this, you can write a query quickly and you will be able to convert a lot of data very fast. All right, that is the reason we are using all those built-in functions. Next, we have decode A, B, C, D, E, and default. Now, what is happening here is we are going to decode it. That is, first, this particular query is going to check whether A and B are equal. If they are equal, C is going to be returned. If not, it is going to check A and D. If A and D are equal, then E is going to be given as an output. If A is not matching with B, A is not matching with D, then default value will be written. All right. So this is how your decode function works. So let us see the example. So as you can see, two character. So here what we're going to do is, I'm going to have two character, 3000. I want to convert it into this particular dollar format. So as you can see, I'm getting a dollar 3000. Or else I want to change the system date into a day, month, year format. Okay. So as you can see, system date, whatever is there, it has been converted into Wednesday, comma, month name, comma, year. So in this way, you can use two character to either convert the numeric value or date. Next, we have to date. To date, 19th March 2014 is been converted into a date format. That is 19 March 14. Instead of 2014, it was converted into 14. Okay. And NVL, this also we saw. where we have a x value and y value. So all the x value will be given a y value. So here what is going to happen? NVL x value, we are giving y as 1. So we'll be getting 1 as a output here. Suppose I had given some other number, we would have got an output of 3. So wherever there is a null value, if you want to change it with a different value, then you can do that. All right. So that's all in today's session, students. With this, we have completed chapter 14. In the next session, we will be covering the chapter 15. So thank you for watching. Keep learning.